Hong Kong is one of the world's largest holders of foreign reserves. They are at the top and are often compared to major economies. Here's a list of the world's largest holders of total reserves, data from the World Bank. Here you can see that Hong Kong has over $425 billion worth of reserves, making them the 8th largest holder of reserves. That is no small feat, considering Hong Kong's economic size and the fact that Hong Kong is a city. Yet you can see that they have reserves much higher than South Korea, Singapore, Germany, and a long list of other major economies out there. So, of course, having such enormous foreign reserves is something that makes people intrigued about. Why are Hong Kong's foreign reserves so big? Is it because of their stance as a global financial hub, or is it because of their role as a global trading hub? Well, let's break all of the reasons down as to why Hong Kong's foreign reserves are so big. To understand Hong Kong's vast reserves, one must first understand Hong Kong's currency. The Hong Kong dollar has a linked exchange rate system, commonly known as the Currency Board Arrangement. Back in 1983, the system pegged the Hong Kong dollar, HKD, to the US dollar at a fixed rate, historically set at 7.80 Hong Kong dollars for $1 US, and later adjusted to operate within a narrow band, currently 7.75 to 7.85. In case you're not aware of this arrangement, here's a graph on the historical exchange rate of the Hong Kong dollar to the US dollar. This fixed exchange rate has occurred for many decades, and under this arrangement, every unit of the domestic currency, in this case the Hong Kong dollar, must be fully backed by foreign exchange reserves, typically US dollars. What that simply means is that the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, HKMA, must hold enough US dollars in reserve to cover every Hong Kong dollar in circulation. This ensures that the exchange rate remains fixed at approximately 7.8 Hong Kong dollars to $1 US, within a narrow trading band. But there's a problem with this, and it's the fact that the currency in circulation of Hong Kong may go up. While the Hong Kong Monetary Authority does not print money, it allows 3 commercial banks, HSBC, Standard Chartered, and Bank of China, Hong Kong, to issue Hong Kong dollars. But for them to issue Hong Kong dollars, they must deposit an equivalent amount of US dollars into the exchange fund. This creates a one-to-one backing of the money supply with foreign reserves. This mechanism works through what are called convertibility undertakings. When market forces push the exchange rate outside the target band, licensed banks can approach the Hong Kong Monetary Authority to either buy or sell US dollars. For example, if the market rate threatens to drop below 7.75, banks can exchange US dollars for Hong Kong dollars at the fixed rate, increasing the domestic supply of HKD and pushing the rate back up. Conversely, if the market rate exceeds 7.85, banks can convert Hong Kong dollars into US dollars. This automatic adjustment ensures that the exchange rate remains stable, but it requires that Hong Kong holds a vast stock of foreign exchange reserves. Now, because the currency board system commits the monetary authority to back every Hong Kong dollar in circulation with US dollars, the size of the exchange fund must be several times larger than the money supply to ensure credibility. Let's take a look at just how much Hong Kong dollar is in circulation to the total reserves. Here's a graph of Hong Kong's broad money to total reserves ratio, data from the World Bank. What this data is about is how much money is circulating in Hong Kong compared to its total foreign reserves. In simple terms, it tells us how well backed Hong Kong's money supply is by actual reserves, mostly US dollars. Here, you can see that the ratio for the latest year is 4, but sometimes it is around 3. Having this low of 4 means that Hong Kong has strong financial stability, because every 4 Hong Kong dollars in circulation are backed by $1 US in reserves. This is much lower than many other economies, meaning Hong Kong has plenty of reserves to defend its currency peg. To show you just how low this is, let's compare Hong Kong to several major economies out there. Here, you can see that countries like China, the United Kingdom, Australia, and even Japan have much higher broad money to total reserve ratio than Hong Kong. For instance, the United Kingdom, which may be well regarded by some as one of the best-run economies out there, has a broad money to total reserve ratio of over 27.9. Or put simply, for every 1 unit of reserves, there are nearly 28 units of money circulating in the UK economy. This is much higher than Hong Kong's ratio of 4, meaning the UK's money supply is far less backed by reserves compared to Hong Kong. But of course, the way Hong Kong's economy works is far different from how the United Kingdom works. Hence, directly comparing their broad money to total reserves ratio isn't entirely fair. But we'll leave that for now. Let's go and talk about Hong Kong's role as a financial hub. Hong Kong is indeed well known for being a gateway for international trade and finance. And as a result of these, the city has attracted substantial capital inflows over the years. What that basically meant is that investors, people seeking to deposit their money in safe banks or businesses looking for a stable financial environment, have poured money into Hong Kong. This has helped Hong Kong become a global financial powerhouse, facilitating massive capital inflows from around the world. To showcase you one part of this story, let's graph out the foreign direct investment net inflows of Hong Kong in their balance of payment. Here you can see that the net inflows of money every single year is massive. In 2015, it even reached a peak of over $181 billion, which wasn't just a small figure. At that time, the GDP of Hong Kong was just $309 billion, which means that foreign direct investment inflows were nearly 59% of Hong Kong's GDP, an insanely high ratio compared to most economies. Now, this substantial amount of FDI net inflows can influence Hong Kong's foreign reserves. This is because a portion of foreign investment is held in Hong Kong's banking system, increasing the supply of foreign currency. Since Hong Kong operates under a currency board system, where every Hong Kong dollar is backed by US dollars, these inflows may lead some investors to convert foreign currencies into Hong Kong dollars. When this happens on a large enough scale, it can result in an increase in foreign reserves as more US dollars enter the system to support the currency peg. Secondly, there's another important contributor to the total reserves beyond foreign direct investments, and that is the current account balance. The current account balance is basically a measure of a country's trade and financial transactions with the rest of the world. It includes exports and imports of goods and services, income from foreign investments, and money transfers. If a country has a current account surplus, it means it is earning more from exports and foreign income than it is spending on imports and payments abroad. Here's a graph on the current account balance on the balance of payment of Hong Kong. Here you can see that, just like foreign investments, the current account balance is positive, and at a figure of billions of dollars, with the latest year available for 2023 showing over $34.9 billion. What this simply means is that Hong Kong is bringing in more money from trade and financial services than it is spending. This surplus directly adds to its foreign reserves. Now, let's talk about what these reserves are. Most of you may probably try to guess that part of Hong Kong's reserves are foreign currencies, but as well as gold, right? It's the standard norm in understanding the reserves of one's economy. But that's actually the opposite of Hong Kong. Here's a graph on Hong Kong's reserves composition as of November 2024. Here you can see that they have $425 billion in total reserves, but over $414 billion of which are foreign currency reserves. only a small portion of just $178 million is held as gold. The reason for this is because Hong Kong's monetary system revolves around its currency board, which strictly ties the Hong Kong dollar to US dollar reserves. This means the Hong Kong Monetary Authority prioritizes liquid foreign currencies over gold to ensure swift action in maintaining the currency peg. While valuable, gold is less liquid and doesn't align with Hong Kong's reserve strategy focused on stability and accessibility. Finally, before we end the video, we also have to talk about why Hong Kong needs a lot of foreign reserves. One of the primary functions of foreign reserves is to provide a buffer against speculative attacks on the domestic currency. In the case of Hong Kong, maintaining a fixed exchange rate has historically made the Hong Kong dollar a target for currency speculators, especially during times of economic uncertainty. The 1997 Asian financial crisis is a case in point. During that period, speculators attempted to force a revaluation of the currency, but the HKMA was able to counter these moves by deploying a vast amount of reserves. There's more factors out there that shape Hong Kong's reserve accumulation, but we'll leave it for now. Anyway, do let us know what you think. Thanks for watching.